Hey guys, welcome back to the AWS Cloud Demos. My name is Murli, and in today's demo, we will talk about AWS CodeStar. So, what is CodeStar? So, CodeStar is nothing but it is designed to simplify and accelerate the process of creating, managing, working on a software development projects with the AWS ecosystems. So, it basically facilitates the collaboration between the development teams, providing tools for building, testing, deploying applications on AWS. So, the key features of CodeStar includes a unified user interface for the streamlined project management, a variety of project templates for different compute platforms like EC2, built-in integrations with the AWS services. The platform aims to enhance the development workflow, enabling the teams to release the code faster and more efficiently. So basically, in our previous videos, we developed our DevOps pipelines from scratch, like we have set up the code commit, code build, code deploy, and code pipeline in our previous videos. If you haven't watched those videos, if you're visiting my channel for the first time, please go and watch those videos and you will understand how the different services work together, and please watch those videos. And so CodeStar is basically orchestrating all these services like code commit, code build, code deploy, and code pipeline. So everything will be set up for you. It's just a blueprint. We have a bunch of blueprints available, and we will shortly see how we can use the AWS CodeStar and how we can build a DevOps pipeline with using the blueprints of AWS CodeStar. Okay, some of the key features, as we have discussed, it's basically a project templates for different compute platforms like EC2. You have built-in integrations with our other AWS services. The platform aims to enhance the development workflow, enabling the teams to release code faster and more efficiently. Okay, so it also supports a wide variety of programming languages, for example, like Java, .NET, Node.js, microservices, and ECS, and all that stuff, and making it versatile for diverse applications and deployment needs. Okay, so it is particularly beneficial for the projects hosted on AWS, providing a cohesive environment for developers to collaborate and deliver software solutions effectively. Okay, so before we head to the demo, so if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do subscribe to my channel, and I hope you will like this video. And also please make a note that CodeStar is going to be discontinued on July 31st, 2024, and also after July 31, 2024, we will no longer be able to access the AWS CodeStar. But you should be able to use Code Catalyst instead of Code Star. So we will walk through about Code Catalyst in the next videos. But for now, yeah, this is the discontinuation notice that AWS wants to discontinue the AWS CodeStar. Okay, so please keep that in mind. And before we head to the demo, please subscribe to my channel. Please watch the videos, and please make sure you hit that like button. Okay, let's continue to the demo. So this is my AWS console. If you're wondering how do I get this black interface, I just select from the settings and choose the dark if you want, and if you can switch back to light, that's totally up to you, but in my case I'm going to use dark. Okay, and also make sure what is the region that you want to use. In my case, I'm going to use North Virginia, US East 1. And now let's head back to AWS CodeStar. So if you can bookmark these things here, it will be pretty easy for you to identify the services without searching for these services. Okay, so yeah, there you go. Like I said, there is a notice here that it is going to be discontinued. Okay, but we will be discussing about AWS CodeStar because we have seen from scratch how we created those pipelines and code commit repositories and stuff like that, but we want to see how we can quickly create the development, the deployment pipelines using the code star. Okay, so let's go to create project here. Okay, so like I said, there's a whole bunch of templates over here, so you can select what the services that you want to use. For example, in my case, I want to use AWS EC2. I want to use a I want to create a web application or maybe a web service, and I want to use a Node.js. Okay, so this is what I want to see. This is my filter over here, and you can see there is one blueprint option that I have, so that I can use this blueprint to create my pipeline. Okay, so now let's go ahead with next, and then I'm going to name my project my Node.js APIs pipeline. or maybe CodeStar, or maybe I think pipeline, and then project ID is going to be pipeline. And then this is my code commit. So basically what it does is when you try to create the project, it creates the code commit repository, and also it creates the EC2 configuration. So you can see you can choose the EC2 instance that you want, because basically we have selected EC2 instance as my deployment, as my hosting provider. So now this is my VPC, and I can choose my default VPC, and you can choose the subnet whichever you like. In my case, I just selected the default one, and also the key pair, so you can create the key pair as well. So, and if you go to next step, I think we have missed something. Cannot exceed 15 characters. Okay, so I can just put more my Node.js APIs. That's totally fine. Now if you look into this, we have used Express.js as my framework, and it creates my AWS code commit with this repository name, and that is going to have a boilerplate functionality for my Express.js, Node.js, Express.js functionality. Okay, so I'm going to create a project. So as soon as you create the project, so what it does is it try to create the pipeline. It creates the monitoring steps. It creates a repository for you. If you want, you can spin up this app in your um, Visual Studio Code, or maybe you can use the Cloud9 environments. We'll set up a Cloud9 environment for this demo. Okay, so the project is provisioning, so it will take some time for us to spin up this pipeline, and also set up this CodeStar project. Okay, so let's wait for that, and we will continue with our demo. Also, under the hood, it creates our AWS CloudFormation stack, which basically creates our environment. So if you click on View AWS CloudFormation template, like here, if you go to CloudFormation, sorry, I have a bookmark here. Click on the bookmark, and you will be see, this is the template. This is the CloudFormation template that is being created, and you can see all the resources that are created in under the hood. Okay, so CodeStar uses the CloudFormation template, like we have discussed. And if you go back to the projects that we are trying to create and click on my Node.js, and it is still provisioning the project. So basically it tries to set up the EC2 instance. So if you go to EC2 instance, here you can see the instance is still not running. Maybe, yeah, I think, yeah, still needs to be created. This might take some time. And go back to the CodeStar. Let's wait for this to complete. Click on projects. Yeah, let's wait for it to provision. All right. Okay, there you go. The project is now provisioned. Now, if you click on the pipeline here, so you should be able to see the pipeline is now set up. So you can see the code commit repository is being set up. I will show you shortly, and then we will. The build is all automatically happened. That means the build spec file is automatically created in the CodeStar with a, like I said, we have the boilerplate template that is going to be in our code commit repository, which I will walk you through shortly, and the deploy phase is now going on. So once this stage is completed, you should be able to see your application running. Okay, so by the time you finish your pipeline, so you should be able to see the view application, and click on here, and then that will take you to your web apps web service. I mean, basically we have created an Express.js API, isn't it? So let's wait for the deploy to complete, and we will go to the application, and we will see what happened under the hood. Okay, I think we are in the last step, deploy. So we have finished our execute change set. We have generated the change set. Oops. And now we are waiting for this. And once this is done, we should be able to view the application. Okay, so let's wait for that to complete. There you go. So now the deployment is completed, and we have finished all the stages in our code pipeline. Now, if you scroll up, you should be able to see this button enabled. And when you click on it, so yeah, there you go. This is our API, the Hello World, which we are getting it from our Node.js Express application from here. So that means our pipeline is now successfully set up for our Node.js application, which is amazing. And also the monitoring stuff is also enabled. So basically we have deployed our app to the EC2 instance. Okay, so if I go back to the code commit, like I said, so the repository is being set up by the CodeStar itself. So if you expand, this is our new repository which is created. So if I go to that, so this is the boilerplate template. Like you see, you have build spec, which enables the code build, and app spec is for our code deployment. Okay, so we will look into that content shortly. So you can see this is a basic template which is being generated by our CodeStar. Okay, so now let's go ahead and open up our build spec file. So you can see all the commands npm install, and this is the Python related install. It is installing AWS CLI basically, and also you can see node modules and artifacts which are being uploaded to our EC2 instance are all these which we have in our build spec file. So basically you can take this a template, you can copy this template for your Node.js Express app. You can create your code build using the build spec.yaml file. So if you don't know what is code build, if you don't know what is code pipeline, you should be able to go to my videos, and you should be able to see follow these AWS DevOps videos, and you should be able to get familiarize yourself with these videos, and you should be able to understand code build and stuff like that. Okay, so if I go back to the code commit, sorry, go to repositories, and also if you look into appspec.yaml file, you should be able to see some template which contains how do you deploy this, what is the deployment strategy for your EC2 instance, your Node.js application. Okay, so you can see all the files which are being copied from your source code commit to the destination, which is your EC2 instance. Okay, so you can see all these files which are being now uploaded, and that's how you're able to see the application running uh, in your is from your EC2 instance. Okay, so now if I go back and you can see code build, and this is the build that I was talking about. This is the build, and which is already set up by our CodeStar, and you can see the build is also succeeded. If you go into that, you should be able to tail logs. Click on the tail logs, and you see uploaded artifacts, and the post build is also successful. So yeah, I hope you get an idea there. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. And if you go to the code pipeline, and this is also being set up, basically code pipeline is nothing but an orchestration of our code build, code commit, code deploy. So if you go to the pipeline, you should be able to see the pipeline here. You can see all the steps, stages, and actions that we have over here. And if you go to code star again, so and click on projects, and this is our code star project. So and now you can see and you can see the pipeline which has successfully deployed our application, right? And we have also set up our monitoring, and we have also seen our repository which is being set up in our AWS code commit. It facilitates the collaboration among development teams, and for building, for testing, and for deploying applications on AWS. Okay, so this is basically very easy way for you to create the pipeline and other stuff. So and if you go to IDE, and we will be able to set up our project in our one of these tools, like you see here. You can integrate it with you can tools you can locally use, which is CLI tool. We can use Visual Studio Code, Eclipse, and you can also edit in the AWS code commit. But we will be using AWS Cloud9 here, so you should be able to create an environment, and then for seamless integration from while you commit your code, and that kicks off the pipeline and that deploys your application. So we will set up the Cloud9 environment. So click on create environment. This might take a couple of minutes, and I'm using the instance type T2 micro, and the environment name is going to be my Node.js application. And I'm gonna, for cost saving settings, I'm gonna choose after 30 minutes. I want to shut down, and I want to stop any further charges on my because I'm running my EC2 instance. So now let's go ahead and create the environment. So that should create an environment. So that is going to take a couple of minutes, I think. So let's wait for it to complete, and then we will open up our Node.js new application in the code Cloud9 IDE, so that we will be able to commit our code, and that should automatically deploy our changes. So basically what we'll do is we'll change the hello world here, and we'll see how the seamless integration works. Okay, let's wait for the environment to set up, and then let's get back to the video. All right, so now that you can see our my Node.js app created by AWS CodeStar. This is my Cloud9 environment. Okay. So now if you click on the Open IDE, that takes you to the Cloud9 environment. So you can see that. Okay, there you go. So it slowly loads my project contents. So it's taking some time. Expand the repository. You can see I've got all my Node.js contents. Okay. And now if I cd into my Node.js APIs. Okay, so this is where my Git repository is there. Okay, so if I do git status, you should be able to see there are no changes to commit. So let's go to scripts. Maybe let's go to server. Yeah, here. Just open that file, and there is a get request here. So this is where I wanted to change. Okay, so I've changed it to AWS Cloud Demos, and I want to commit this file so that my pipeline starts, starts building that again and starts deploying it again. Okay, so I want to start making the changes to my application, and we'll see how that seamless integration works. Now, if I do git status, so it looks like it did not save, and now if I do git status, and there's this is the file that I've changed. Now I wanna commit this file, update, get update output, and now there's no default user that is being configured. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to reset the author, or maybe you can set a different author if you want. So in my case, I'm just going to go ahead and reset the current author. Okay, maybe just ignore that. Okay, and just paste it, enter. So and just hit Control X, and that should be able to commit the file. Okay, now if you do git status, so you should be able to see that we have already committed our changes, and now we just need to push it. So now that I have pushed my changes, okay, so if I go back to my CodeStar here, and if I refresh this page, because we just pushed one commit, our source should be able to uh, get the new change, and you can see the commit as SHA will be changed. Okay, so I'm just going to refresh this page again, or maybe you can go to code commit and see if you have the latest changes if you want, and go to my Node.js pipeline and click on server.js. Yeah, I have changed my file, and if I go back to the CodeStar again, projects, click on the project, and now if I click on pipeline, so there you go. I think it has a latest commit, and now the build has started. So the build is in progress, and once it deploys the changes, you should be able to see the application, the latest application. Okay, so once you are ready, then we will go ahead and open up the application again. Or if the tab is already open, just come here and refresh the page. Okay, let's wait for the pipeline to finish the build and deployment, and then let's go to the application and refresh. Okay. All right, so now that the deployment is complete, now go back to the application. So maybe click on the view application here. There you go. So we now see that AWS Cloud Demos, because we have successfully finished our pipeline and the latest deployment you can see here. All right, so yeah, that's the seamless integration with our application, right from committing our changes, and that pushes the content into our AWS code commit, and from code commit, the code build picks up changes, and that starts building your project. If make sure your tests are passing, because in my case, my test case failed, so I had to change the text so that my test started working, and then after code build, then the deployment starts, and once the deployment is done, that will be straight uploaded into your EC2 instance. Okay, I hope you like this video, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Let's now go ahead and try to delete this project, because this is just for the demo purpose, and you no longer need it once you are once you're happy with the way that things went. And just click on my Node.js API pipeline, just delete that, and just do delete, and also delete the resources. Don't forget to delete the resources. Okay, now just delete it, and that is going to again in the cloud formation, that stack is going to be deleted. All right, so that's what happens in the backend. Okay, so I'm not going to wait for this to complete, but I hope you enjoyed this video, and please don't forget to like this video, and I will see you in the next one.